to play. Murray will drive and get it. Nice play by Jamal Murray. George tees one up from three. Jokic the rebound. Down court, Millsap, the early release, and the two-handed flush.
Don't we see that at least once a game from Jokic to someone? Jokic. Eyes are always downhill.
Is a great long-distance passer.
Great touch, right? First fast break points tonight by the Nuggets, and that's something Michael Malone.
Outside, Jokic for the lead. Card! What a comeback by Denver. Down 16. Jokic in the middle, Harris. Murray fakes the three. Step back three. Card! Hits another one. Timeout, Clippers. What a comeback for the Nuggets. The Clippers haven't scored in over 4 minutes. But everybody beginning to hit for Denver. Defense on one end. 5:48 to go. Trying to avoid elimination. Murray is heated up for Denver.
Harold and Williams really haven't gotten it going here in the restart.
Welcome to Front City Winners Lounge again. I'm Adam Vogt. We're back in here. We still got energy.
I got all the energy. I've been sitting on it. I've been actually building more.
Energy. Actually, it's Friday night, man. I'm feeling great. And this game, this is my old man take right now. The game started at 4:30, and it's like, nice, because it's only 8 o'clock, and I still feel like I have another 2 hours of being up.
Well, here's the thing: is that we're not allowed to sell alcohol or buy alcohol after 11, and now we have a little bit more cushion. I'm definitely going to get crunk.
This is like daylight savings time, but COVID. So it's like COVID savings time. This is really 11 o'clock p.m.
Who knew that?
Usual
Silver
standard.
linings.
Anyway. I love when Vogt just hates the intro. It's just like, wow.
Our last intro was so good.
The first intro was great.
The first intro was great.
You know what, Nuggets, can you just run that whole thing back from the top?
I start the show, as always, talking about the big takeaway. And I'm curious. I think we might have 4 different big takeaways. Vogt, number 1 takeaway from this game.
Same takeaway I had after Game 2. I was wrong about the gap between these two teams. This series has been close since the end of Game 1. And I think if they don't throw away Game 3, are they up in this series? Is my math right on that? Let me double check.
It would be up 3-2, and I think it's very fair because this team really has had a lot of opportunities, and they've given a lot of opportunities away. So I think it's a very fair take. It just looks like they're ready to play and ready to compete in the fourth quarter time after time. Sometimes they can't get there, but most of the time they can.
Yeah. What about you, Eric?
My big takeaway is that the Denver Nuggets are who I thought they were, which is a team that they're kind of like. I think I've decided that they procrastinate. They are a
procrastination team.
They don't wait. They don't start working on the project until it's due, but then they knock it out of the park. They just need to feel that cold touch of death on the back of their necks, and then they show up. And
didn't Jokic say this yesterday or a couple days ago? He was like, "That's just when we." For some reason, we play most free. Loose. He was talking about their shot, most loose, when we know they have nothing to lose.
There's something to be said for that. Like this was literally the same formula as what happened with the Utah series. They're down 3-1, down 15 points in the third quarter, and something just seems to click with them. Where it's not necessarily lineup based. It's not necessarily like anything happens. Like the guys just start playing with a little bit more intensity and a little bit more engagement on both ends.
I think that's it. My big takeaway, I know this is me just playing my own note here, is that the Nuggets closed with the lineup I've been begging for them to close with, and you know what? It looked freaking great.
Yes, it did.
It looked freaking great. And Paul Millsap, by the way, brought it in that third quarter, kept Denver in the series or in this game. He did his job. And he didn't close, I think, in part because that lineup, once you put a little bit more scoring on the court, I know Michael Porter only had one bucket. It was a big one.
Yeah.
But it just feels like everything opens up when you have threats on the court that the other team has to respect.
These teams are not willing to live with MPJ wide open.
Yep.
And they are with Millsap, Grant, and Craig. So it's like you said, it's not even necessarily the shots going up or in. It's how the defense approaches it.
1,000%. This was a gutty win, man. I got to say, the Nuggets just refusing to quit in both the first series and in the second series is just such a big thing to me, man. Like, we talked about the bubble and like all the reasons for you to want to go home, and Denver very easily could be looking at this 3-1 deficit and say, not worth it. What's the point of even extending this or that? And just the fact that they fought tooth and nail as hard as they did down the stretch, to me, I love to see it, man.
Listen, this is everything you want out of your team. I mean, I guess another thing you might want out of your team is for them to start playing before things get absolutely, before they absolutely get
be less stressful for sure.
I know when they choked the lead back again for a second there in the fourth, I was like, is there enough time for them to get down by 15? Because they play a lot more crisp. They really need it, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't even know where to start with the players here. I mean, I guess we start with Michael Porter because he's
come on.
I mean, we have to start with him because, look, man, he wrote, what do you say? He talked a big, what is it? Write a check that your ass can't cash or whatever. He wrote a big check after the last game.
Right. Judges, what do we think?
Sometimes you have to talk a big game in order to be a big-time player. And some guys are just wired differently. He's clearly wired differently than everybody else. And it really shows in moments like this where he only took 2 shots up until the point where he needed to take the game dagger. He hit it. He rose up in front of Lou Williams and just hit a dagger. It was awesome.
And you know what? You want MPJ to keep those thoughts to himself in that context, but you don't want him to stop thinking it. I mean, he's absolutely right. And you've asked me a couple of times about his confidence. I do not think you can shake his confidence. I don't think it can be done. If he ball's in his hands and his team needs points, if he thinks he's open, he'll shoot.
Yeah, that was a huge shot, man. And it wasn't just that, the block shot. Defensively, I thought he was solid in the fourth quarter. He wasn't getting cooked.
Him rotating onto Ivica Zubac is a big freaking deal.
Yeah,
because the Nuggets that's what they lose when they lose Paul Millsap. When they don't have him on the floor as that weak side rim protector who can consistently rotate if Jeremy Grant's on the ball. So you get him out there playing that way, and he brought it right to that dude. So that's a big deal going forward.
I mean that was big. Murray and Jokic too. Like Murray kind of shook free a little bit tonight. I mean this was his best game since game 2.
Without question.
I think it was equal to his game 2 performance, which is to say it was really good.
27.
So he hit 26, right? Yeah, 20. So he had 20. So I guess it's 1 point worse than game 2.
Well, points matter.
That's all right.
How many threes did he shoot?
Numbers mean something.
He got 7 threes off tonight and goes 5 of 7, which is huge.
We were talking, the three of us, you know, there's middle ground between, hey, you can't criticize Jamal because, like, Kawhi's guarding him, and Jamal needs to be doing what he did in round 1. I mean, I don't expect him to dominate the
He's
Clippers.
not going to outplay Kawhi or Paul George or those guys. Yeah.
But don't let them shake you. Like, it's true you're not going to get around them and get to the rim. But if you're open from 3, shoot. Those shots are falling.
Well, here's what got him here, though, was he was hunting that 3. He was working in the Utah series to try and create himself an open three-pointer.
Yeah.
He did a great job with it, was very consistent with it.
And
I thought he went away from it in Game 3 and Game 4 a little bit. Like, I think he only attempted 3 threes.
Why do you think
in Game
that
4.
is?
I think sometimes when
the length and the pressure that's staying
when
attached.
you get bothered by somebody who's always in your airspace. Like even today, we saw him get hit, and he got blocked by Patrick Beverley from behind when he was shooting. And so when guys are up in your airspace, you want to get free a little bit. He feels most comfortable in the mid-range. This is a battle that he continues to fight with himself all the time. And so it's going to be a constant thing with him. Once he continues to develop 24, 25, 26, like I think this is going to be all ironed out of him.
I think that this is Murray, this 9 of 25 tonight, this was a Mamba mentality game. And I've always said that Jamal Murray is a disciple of Kobe, and I mean that in the best possible way. I don't mean that in a bad way, which it could be taken in a bad way because Kobe had some of the negative
Some guys are bad
things.
Disciples. He's a good disciple.
He's a good disciple, and that he took 25.
Like Judas was a bad disciple.
Judas was a bad disciple.
Hot take.
It's a really good take. No, but he goes 9 of 25 tonight. I mean, he just wasn't going to go down from lack of trying tonight, and it came through for him in the second. I'd be curious what he was in the second half because I felt like he kind of got his rhythm.
He absolutely did. He was coming out slow. Everybody was.
I don't want to say it too much here, but this kind of reminds me a little bit of Game 5 against Utah. Denver down 15 points.
Here we go.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm not trying to draw put up too fine a point on it, but Denver down big, and then they go. Third quarter, they get a little bit of spark going, and then Jamal Murray finds the equation, right? Like, you had some other guys making plays here. Jamal Murray finds it, and it didn't leave. If that's the case, and I'm not saying it is, but if that's the case, look, winning 2 in a row now against the Clippers is going to be hard, even at your best, but at least they have a chance.
The one question is like, how is Jamal Murray going to match up against Alex Caruso?
Stop it. Jokic tonight I thought was also fantastic. I mean, Jokic is always fantastic. With 22 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists. He did have 6 turnovers, was a team high plus 13. But
how many threes did he attempt, by the way?
6. He goes 2 of 6.
He hit those in a clutch moment.
He made the 2 when it mattered the most. And yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. He had some tough bucket. It wasn't just the threes. He also had the little dirt fall away. He had a couple face-up
He started off slow, too. The whole team was just, like, stuck in the mud in the first half. And then Jokic got loose, man. He was in the zone. He was just hitting everything. Murray was hitting everything. It got to that point where, exactly like it was in the Utah series, where all of a sudden those two felt like they were automatic. Like, you just couldn't wait for them to get down on the offensive end because you knew the bucket was coming. But in the first half, it was just like pure. It just was like torture. It was like trudging through the mud. We couldn't get anything going. It was like. I was polluting the timeline. I'm not even apologizing for it. You guys, you decided to follow me. Deal with it, and then they came back and they pulled off the nuggiest win of all time.
I know it, man. This one does feel good. I wish that this was real life and not COVID life, and that they were coming back to Denver for Game 6. And it was like,
it'll be cool.
Bring him into our arena now, baby. Let's go.
Oh my God!
But alas, it wasn't to be. Before we let you get out of here, Ryan, because I see Harrison Wind has already spoken to the media. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, Harrison, so we're a little behind here. But I want to ask you. You're the Murray Whisperer, so I want to ask you about Jamal. This is a tough one.
Okay.
He struggled in the series.
Sure.
But he's had 2 good games, and Denver won both of those. Do you think from what you saw that he's figured something out? I'm not saying that he's going to go off, but do you think that this is a momentum that carries into Game 6?
I think there is some momentum that goes into Game 6. I'm not sure if it's going to matter if the Nuggets don't continue to get contributions from other guys.
Yeah.
So much of what's gone under the radar with Jamal over the past few games is that he has made a lot of great decisions. The shot hasn't gone through.
He's averaging like 7 assists.
The assists are up there. He's moving the ball. He's getting it to a good spot. He had a couple of bad turnovers in Game 4, but overall, it's just the shot. If the shot can go down a little bit more, if he can create threes, then this team has a chance. They really do.
It's 2 games, and like I said, even Denver's best effort against the Clippers. Best effort is still, I think, a toss-up at best. Like, they're a good team, so you can't just say that. But you know what? Play like this, and you put yourself in position to make it happen. And, Michael Porter, he's such a big storyline, but he hit that big shot, and he plays the whole fourth. He's a plus 13. He ties Jokic as a team high. I don't know, man. Like, just get him going.
We're talking about his shot, but bookending that was some incredible defense, effort on defense, incredible by his standards. A big-time block and rebound to seal the game. The Nuggets tightened up that defense in the fourth quarter, which included some strong rotations, which included Michael Porter Jr. So if we're going to sit here and point out every single time he takes his eye off the guy, look, at the end of the day, this is adding up to positive performances in the plus-minus column. And in the fourth quarter, he was exactly who they need him to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
He wasn't even scoring.
Go to him again.
He hit the 3, but he got block shots.
Yeah.
He had steals. He was exact. I mean, he fit into the rotation perfectly.
This is not a Zach LaVine type deal. Like, ball needs to be in his hands for him to have an impact. He can be a complementary piece, especially on this team.
And that was, I think, what was so frustrating for him in the last game was people were saying, like, hey, it's not just about this. Can you get some rebounds? Can you do some other things to contribute? And tonight he did that. It was weird that he had a great game and made 1 shot.
It was massively important. He was able to be out there, and the best lineup that the Nuggets can put out there was able to be out there because he willingly decided to do the things that he needed to do well. It wasn't perfect, but as long as you're hustling out there, as long as you're moving as quickly as you can from spot to spot, then That dude can play good defense, and the Nuggets can play good defense with him on the floor. The numbers bear that out this series. It's very consistent. It has been for most of the year. I really do think they have a good shot with this lineup.
Give us one hot take before you get out. It doesn't have to be about the series. It could be about the team. It could be about a player. It could be about anything. And it has to be positive. Don't give me a negative hot take.
They win Game 6.
Oh!
They win Game 6.
Let's go.
That's my hot take.
It almost feels like a victory to me. Like if they can get it to a Game 7, like I know I say this a lot, but it just like
that's like straight fraud city.
Yeah.
That's like, but it means you've actually adopted it into your heart.
It's in the heart, man. It's in my soul. It's in my bones.
Doesn't losing in 7 to the Clippers feel a lot better than losing in 7 to the
No,
Blazers?
you know what feels better is beating the Clippers.
Hey, positive vibes. Good vibes
let's go
right
to
here.
break. Let's take a break. Let's welcome in Harrison.
We're
not doing breaks today. Oh, yeah, ad-free because it's a Saturday show. All right,
You're
RB.
welcome.
All right, I'm taking off. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Follow Ryan
Always a
Blackburn
pleasure, Ryan.
on NBA Blackburn on social. Harrison, where are you, you handsome devil?
Just try not to subtweet me about Jamal anymore, okay? Love you, buddy.
Yeah, it was a little bit wild.
I earned it. I earned it.
You're feeling yourself. You're feeling yourself.
Good to see you guys.
Much
Good
love,
to see you,
brother.
buddy. All right, Harrison. And you're welcome to hang out if you want, RB. We're just going to be talking here.
That's actually not true. You need to get the F out of here. Beat it.
Okay.
Bye, Ryan.
Man, we
All
are,
right,
we are
Harrison.
bright today. I'm bright.
I know we are bright. The Peloton Prince has arrived. I'm excited to hear what the tone of the post-game pressers was. I'm always on tone watch.
The
You are on
tone
watch.
of this one was Michael Malone was in his everybody doubts us mindset.
yeah, he loves that,
He
dude.
loves that
He
one.
was peaking in this
Including some of the people
post-game
in this room.
presser.
Figure out why.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people doubt us, including people on this Zoom call.
It just seems
Yeah.
like every
It's very
time we
assumed.
go down 3-1, people seem to doubt us.
Malone had a good one.
It's like, sorry. Sorry we doubted you.
Malone said a quote-unquote commentator. A quote-unquote commentator he heard say that there are 8 teams left, only 7 can win a championship. He said he heard that in the last couple of days from a commentator.
I wonder who you heard that from.
I
Yeah.
think Malone is very good at making this shit
Yeah,
up.
He might
Malone
have
has a
made it
Michael
up. He
Jordan
might have just
level.
made it up.
and that
we need to
became
get
personal for me.
I took that personally with Michael Malone on there. We got to get that going.
Then he went to everyone wants an all-LA conference finals. We want to have something to say about that.
Let's go.
Dude, that's the note I really want him to play.
Yeah.
I know.
That's part of me is just I want to be the ultimate spoiler of all of the people that are like, we deserve it because
Yo, nothing would make me-
Lakers Clippers would be the best.
Nothing would make me happier for the internet to melt down and be like, 2020 is a disaster. We don't get the NBA Finals we want. Because the Nuggets
great.
read it.
It'd
The
be
Nuggets
so
read it.
great.
Oh, I hope to
I hope
ruin
the
your
Nuggets
2020.
can ruin 2020 even more.
No
for
one
everybody.
outside of Denver and Serbia will be satisfied
Yeah.
if the Nuggets
Oh,
do
That's
this.
so perfect though.
But all the sweeter. All the sweeter.
You guys know the meme guy, the Michael Jordan. Then I took it personal.
It
meme?
and then it became
You gotta
personal
yeah,
for
then
me?
it became personal. You got to put Michael Malone's head on that one. So all right, so
And do it now.
Do you have any
Like
other
in the next
bangers?
4
Do you have any-
minutes,
yeah.
if you can. I know you're not busy over there.
Guy just side eyes me the whole
The
time we
whole
do this
time,
show. He's
bro.
just like he's like the Jokic meme of him like flipping off as just Guy the entire time.
Yeah, Guy's sass level is off the charts.
Malone is made for these moments. The
Yeah.
other funny thing is, and I'm not trying to like rag. Actually, I'm trying to rag
Yeah,
on Malone because he gets saucy with these. It's like, oh, did you remind him that he played the lineup that we've all been calling for forever to close?
Well, hold that thought.
oh no.
So
Oh, no.
on Paul Millsap though, like Paul Millsap had an incredible third quarter.
Yes, he
Sure
did.
did.
That's what started this whole comeback.
Stares into camera.
And Malone said he wanted to go back to Millsap, but obviously he rode with that hot lineup. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll continue to see it a little bit more. More on Millsap's night. The dust up with Marcus Morris.
Yes.
A big turning point in the game.
Yes,
We
it
obviously
was.
know that. Malone said something along the lines, I don't know the exact quote here, but Malone said something along the lines of like, Paul, a seasoned vet, he just had enough and he wasn't going to take it anymore. So we just like stepped up to Marcus.
right.
I mean, I wouldn't want to take it anymore after an elbow to the head either. But
Paul does, I know he's well over the hill, but I've never seen a player with a better career get less respect from the
I
officials.
know.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, pretty soon we'll see Jokic, and he
That's
will
true.
surpass him.
That's a
He is
very good
catching up
point.
very rapidly.
Millsap was asked if anything was said at halftime to kind of change the momentum, and
no
Millsap was
chance.
like, I just blacked out after that dust up. I don't remember anything.
The funny
That's
thing is, I
awesome.
do picture him sitting at halftime,
blacked
like
out too.
literally just sitting at blacked out. Stoic as can be. And it's
Just like doing magic
Yeah,
subconsciously.
Paul, are you all right, Paul? You're all right?
Yeah, Marcus Morris, by the way, do you guys remember in round 1 when the entire internet was like, look, guys, he's not really a dirty player, and I don't know if he was trying to, roll.
The guy
Luka
ran across the width of the court to step on Luka Doncic's ankle.
People are like, I think we need to give him the benefit. Like, why are you kidding me? This is the 3rd straight series. Or no, 2nd straight series, but still.
There's, players in the NBA that you know of, you know about their antics, whatever. They don't really mean anything to you until you play them in a meaningful way, like in a series, and you start to really game after game see that players. Yeah, well, in the Morris twins, you're like, oh, that's why people hate them.
Yeah.
I hate this.
Here's the thing, though, and it's an ultimate compliment. I'd take Marcus Morris.
Hey, man, he balled out tonight.
Yeah, he is good. It's kind of a big deal that Denver beat them when
seems like he was better than 4'10".
That it's important for them to beat when Marcus Morris scores. I guess he only had 12, so it wasn't that crazy. What else was said? Who else was interviewed?
So you guys had technical difficulties. I had some technical difficulties as well. MPJ and Jamal. MPJ had some interesting quotes about what he had to say following Game 4. I was not on the call for this, but I'm seeing the quotes come out. MPJ said, quote, "I stand by what I said.
Oh,
I didn't mean it in any kind of disrespectful way."
Wait, is he talking about the vaccine thing?
Yeah.
Or
no, his most recent comments.
Which one?
The latest ones.
Come on, Eric.
Yeah, he stands by what he said. And you know what, man? I wrote this today, but he was right. The offense had become a little too predictable. They did need to get more guys involved to beat the Clippers. And what do you know? This was the role player game today. Yeah. This was the role player game for the Nuggets. 17 from Millsap, 10 from Grant. 12 from Monte Morris.
Can we just
this was the role player game?
Can we hang on how insane it is that he said that, then takes and makes the most important shot of the game, and then goes back up and says, "I stand by what I said." Incredible.
I said what I said.
This guy is not like anyone else that's been in Denver in a long time.
I don't know if he's like many people that have been on Earth.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He does have something unique about him. Look, can we reanalyze this just a little bit? And I know we've talked about it a lot, but have your opinions of the Michael Porter comments changed at all over the last 48 hours? I mean, you can factor this game in if you want to factor this game in too, but did you guys see that thing I sent you?
If you're asking me, my thing is I didn't really have a big problem with it in the first place.
Why?
Because I just felt like it was a nothing comment. He was saying
I don't have that opinion.
Our offense isn't working. It's a little too predictable. We need to get more people involved. And it was interpreted, because of the way he said it.
Yeah, he kind of said the quiet part, because you can do the our offense, we're predictable right now, we can do that. But he was like Jokic and Murray are, they keep going to them. Malone needs to call better play. He said the quiet part, when you can always just say, I think we just need to get a little more creative. Or
I guess so. To me, I just don't candor doesn't bother me. I prefer him saying what he's thinking, what we're all thinking, versus just saying weird coded messages that where we all know what he's talking about. So I don't know. To me, it's I don't care.
I just said it, but I thought he was right. The moment he said it, I was like, yes, that's exactly what's happening. And I was like, wow. It's funny because MPJ.
Oh my God. That's great TV, by the way, when you just take your laptop.
Well, I'm going to put it on.
We're going to put it on there.
Okay.
It's funny, MPJ, man. We've talked about this throughout the year. He'll speak his mind to the media.
Yeah,
he's
just
loose
ask.
with it.
Just ask.
He tells you what's on his mind, and I think he was right. Obviously, I'm going to side with all the current and past players who came out and said this has to be kept internal. Obviously, I'm going to default to them on that.
If it was mixed opinions and it was this or that, but I think
it was 100%.
No, it's 99.9%. Haydu Turkoglu came out.
I couldn't tell if he was agreeing with Jameer or disagreeing. I couldn't tell.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe. Okay, so maybe we're not sure about that 0.1%. Yeah, this was unanimous, guys. And look, I've really thought about this more. I've talked about it now on 2 shows. I think I talked about it on yesterday's DNVR show, the Notebook edition. We talked about it live. I feel like my opinion continues to evolve just in this is not good. It's just not good to ever challenge. You take those tough conversations behind closed doors and you have a man-to-man, face-to-face, and you don't back down. You have the spine to be able to tell people this if that's how you feel. You just have to have more control. I'm not going to kill the guy over it.
Yeah.
But it is weird that he's doubling down on it.
But here's the thing is that, this was the next game.
I know. Yeah,
and
you could say it, yeah.
Michael Malone is a tough talk kind of guy. I guarantee
I guarantee Michael Malone does not think that's what I'm talking about. That's my tough guy.
No, but he's having a conversation like that that comes up, like I guarantee that spurs a conversation with Michael Malone. It doesn't just turn into a Cold War where they're just like not talking to each other. Like,
so I said this on the last one. Nuggets outscore the Clippers in the fourth quarter, 38-25. First of all, 38 points.
Yo, it is getting crunk downstairs. By the way,
it's a Friday night at the DNVR bar.
DNVR bar's popping, man.
DNVR bar. Oh man, it was erupting tonight during the game.
I would just say
the crowd was restless. The crowd was angry tonight.
The crowd was out for blood. They were out for blood.
The sea was angry.
And they got it. They got the blood. Go.
If we can trust an organization to have that tough conversation behind doors, though, then we can also trust them to have whatever conversation follows MPJ's comments. Look, it's not ideal. I'm sure it hurt, especially guys like Murray who have been grinding and busting his ass to get the team to this point. But these are adults and professionals. Like, we don't need to make it a problem until it is one. If it's 3 years from now and they're still freezing out MPJ, I'm concerned. But until then, I trust the adults to go home, reconvene, and keep it moving.
Here's another thing about it. I'm going to compare. I compared Murray to Kobe. I think Michael Porter's comments were a little bit of bad Kobe. And what I mean by that was...
demanding a trade to the Clippers, Kobe?
No. Way before that.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about 1998, 1999 Kobe, before he had arrived and he has Shaq and he's like...
Froby.
Froby. He really thought... I guess you youngins don't remember this. But Kobe early on in his career had the same swagger. He was with Shaquille O'Neal and he was like, why am I not the guy? This or that.
Shaq talked about it on Inside the NBA last night when he was in Orlando. He was saying the same thing.
And... that Kobe, I think, had to learn, but the mentality was there. And I think that's maybe what you're alluding to here is that, was it the right thing? Maybe this or that? No, but it does kind of point a light on this guy that's maybe, has the rare type of belief it takes to be just insanely good. Hopefully he also has – the Kobe took him, 10 years for him to realize the other aspects of the game, and I hope MPJ is quicker, but –
yeah, I mean, if those comments really were, team eroding, usurping the coach – type of comments, he wouldn't have put him in closing time in the next.
Yeah,
the very next game.
That's a great point.
There, obviously,
kudos to Michael Malone for that.
Yeah, nothing was rattled. Michael Malone gets it. This is not only are they in a high pressure situation because it's the playoffs. I mean, they're with each other every single day. They're in this insane bubble situation. You have to know that tensions boil over. Probably frequently.
Yeah,
and
no doubt about it.
You just have to have tolerance for that type of thing and just allow, okay, that was a tough moment. We move forward, and that's what happened.
And also, maybe MPJ's comments can lead to them actually having these conversations. Yes. It's not about external or internal. I don't think this team has a lot of those tough conversations, just person to person.
Yeah.
So maybe this is opening up a stream of discussion.
Yeah. Is there anything else from these comments? Do you have?
Murray on Michael Porter Jr.'s shot. I think it was Murray who passed it to him.
I think it was Jokic.
Or Jokic. And he was he was open, and then he caught it, and then he wasn't open.
Yeah, it's so true. It is true, don't
Incredible.
you think?
Yeah.
But you know what? The thing about Michael is then he jumped into his shooting motion and was open again.
Yeah.
He's just so tall and jumped so high on his jumper. Anything else? What's more nuggets here?
That's really it. MPJ also, I did see that he said that he obviously saw Lillard and all the vets speaking out on Twitter, and he was receptive to it. He was
Michael Porter was?
Yeah.
And then he's I heard what they said, but I'm sticking by what I said. So
he was right.
I heard them, but whatever.
He was right.
And I saw the shot go in, and
Michael Porter experience.
I love it,
it's gonna. I do too. We're interesting. The Nuggets are interesting.
Let's go, baby. I mean, that's he's got Melo mentality also a little bit.
Don't walk me there, man. I'm not ready to go there.
He's got the mentality that, the only mentality you could have if you've been so good that since you were 9 years old, people have been waiting for you to have your NBA moment.
Oh, we just got a great tweet. I just sent it to you guys if you want it. Also, so we do have a quote from Michael Porter. Are we ready for that for our Michael Porter graphic? What's that? No, we're gonna close with the song. You guys, Serbia. I want to say shouts to Serbia early in the morning watching the show. We have the whole country. We have a little surprise for you at the end. What is the Serbian drink? I never know how to say it. Rakia.
Rakia.
Rakia. Okay, so I wish we had some Rakia. We need to get some Rakia at the bar.
We do.
Oh man, we're gonna have so many Serbians here.
Shout out to the Balkan boys.
The Balkan boys, man. So you might want to stick around from that. Let's talk a little bit.
Shout out to the Balkan boys.
Denver outscores them by quite a wide margin in that second half.
Yeah.
Some of this was so we talked about that closing lineup.
Yeah.
Paul Millsap's stepping up in his role in the third quarter was a big part of this, and last game I thought that Michael Malone maybe wanted to go to my lineup in the fourth.
Your personal lineup.
My personal lineup. Yeah, but the game was out of hand by then. Like
your personal lineup.
It is my personal lineup. Yeah.
It's just the best players on the team.
He's going to hear a clip of this and never played again.
This is like how Travis Scott has a Travis Scott meal at McDonald's, and it's just a quarter pounder.
Oh, yeah.
This is Adam's lineup, but it's just like the players.
Hey, man, it is my lineup because that's a lineup that just never played during the regular season, and it's like really freaking good. But do you think, guys, that this is a lineup we're going to see a lot more of? I mean, it works so well. I think somebody has to be sliding the sheet in front of them that's like, hey, we want to see some data points here. That lineup kind of whips ass. Like, it's
followed
good.
up by the sheet with the Torrey Craig Grant Millsap data. Just
like if we do this, it's kind of ugly. What do you think, Wind?
I would hope so. I mean, you guys were talking about it right before I came on, but this game just seemed very similar to Game 5 against Utah. And they found something in the second half of that Game 5. Seemed like it started on defense with some increased intensity there, carried over to the offensive end. So I hope we see it. I think we'll see it.
We've seen it for 24 minutes.
Yeah.
It's outscored opponents by 11 for what it's worth.
But another thing about the Clippers, man, and this happened to the Jazz as well, Clippers got rattled tonight. And, like, even down the stretch, man, they couldn't really manufacture that high quality of looks.
Yeah.
Like, Kawhi was hitting threes. They were really contested threes. Like, when Denver's defense locked in, and we've been saying it all year, they've had one of the best fourth quarter defenses for the last 2 years. When they lock in, they can make it really tough for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that's... Oh, sorry.
Please.
The thing about Michael Malone that I have noticed is that he is slow to make changes, but he always makes them eventually.
Yeah, that's why Denver always has 7-game series.
This is why we're always down. So I think like now he sees something that's working and he'll go with it. Like against the Spurs, it's like, wow, Jamal's getting killed by Derek White. Jamal's getting killed by Derek White. Jamal's getting killed by Derek White. Let's put Gary on Derek White. Changes. The series changes. Same thing like in this Utah series. Like he'll make a change. It feels like it's always too late, but he will make the change eventually. Like, so I feel like the change is here, baby. Your personal lineup.
My personal lineup, the Adam Minus. Well, you know how it's my lineup? Because everybody's tweeting at me as soon as it checks into the game. They're like, Adam, your lineup's in there.
Another thing that helped Murray tonight, again, you guys were talking about this right before I came on, they were guarding him with Patrick Beverley for like the entire second half. Yeah. I don't know why.
Except for when Denver either accidentally or hunted out the Lou Williams switch and attacked him, which like... Where is that stuff from Denver? The other teams also have bad defenders.
Right.
Yeah. And so work to get someone else guarding Murray. I thought they did a good job with that.
A player that was a little bit under the radar tonight, I thought, was Jeremy Grant, and he knocks down 2 3-pointers, and it was like, thank God. I mean, he's another sort of
like exorcism.
Those are the difference in the series.
It is. We talk about Michael Porter being on the court, but part of that is just if Jeremy Grant knocks down shots, and he's of all the players on the Nuggets roster, he's I feel like getting the best looks.
Oh, they're so open, man.
They've been wide open.
So open in the corner.
I just came up with this. Tell me what you think. This is a make or a miss league.
Oh, God damn it. All right, enough of that. All right, do we have some of these memes? Can we throw to some of the memes here? We got Michael Malone. What do we have? Yeah. So after the game, Michael Porter somebody asked him about taking the shot, and he said, someone told me to take it.
No, he said something.
Oh, give this to me.
And I think... I think I know the something that was telling him to take the shot. It might have just been Michael Porter.
That's incredible.
But after the game, Michael Malone feeling a little feisty. He's calling out a lot of people didn't believe in us. Then I took that personally.
Is this
I like that shit-eating grid Malone too. Like that's
is this
a great
racist that he has black.
By the way, Eric, shout out to ISO_ball for sending me that Photoshop. Mike,
incredible.
That was a great one.
Dude, this guy is like, it's not always in a good way, but he's already a first ballot post gamer, Michael Porter Jr. Just the quotes are incredible. So we've got I know Denver has a bunch of really unselfish guys, and I love playing with guys like that.
Yeah.
We've got Jokic is learning how to play with me.
Yeah.
And we've got something just told me to shoot it.
Something.
This is incredible,
Something just told me to shoot it. Well, you know what told him to shoot it was there was like 3 seconds on the shot clock, and nobody wanted the ball. And he's like, well, I guess I'll shoot it now.
My dad's getting doxxed in the comments.
Kuzma would shoot it even if Jesus was guarding him, and Michael Porter Jr. is told to shoot from somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's a very spiritual game, this game of basketball.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like this Nuggets team this year, and again, I don't know if they're going to get over this hump. I'm glad they gave us this one. I'm glad that we now get to talk ourselves into this again. But this really is a team that hasn't figured out how to use Michael Porter and integrate him into the team. It really does feel like it's a 4-man team with Michael Porter as just this like side act, right? And
they're scratching the surface.
Just scratch. That's the point. And
Barely.
I don't know that they're going to solve that. Sometimes it's hard integrating new pieces or this or that. But I'm very encouraged that the fact that this improvised version of the future Nuggets is still really, really good.
Yeah. Go ahead, Wind. I want to hear from you, man.
I mean, look, man, we were talking about this before the game started. You said it on your pod last night. Like, MPJ, his comments blowing up would be like a fitting end to this season where, if you've been listening to this podcast, I think we weren't the biggest fans of how his minutes were managed throughout the regular season. And it ending this way would have been fitting in a way.
Yeah.
It's been a roller coaster of a year. It's been an absolute roller coaster with just the entire MPJ experience.
What do we got back there?
Something's going on.
What the hell are you guys laughing about?
The what?
Oh, is it the song?
Is it something you want to play? We can throw to it and just be out of it. All right, we have something. The production team has.
This better be good.
Something they are really loving.
Remember,
so
if you don't like this, it's the production team's fault.
And we're unable to know what's going on. So, okay, throw on, baby.
We have highlights? Hell yeah, let's go to the highlights. Let's go to some highlights,
All from
baby.
the second half.
I'm ready for some highlights. I want to relive this game. The games where I'm really stressed, man, I barely remember the highlights.
I know, I was pacing.
Jokic, oh yeah, a little soft touch floater.
There was a point in this game where Jokic just decided he wasn't missing it.
He did, man. Big boy Jokic. Oh, you have him one at a time.
Oh, that was a good one. I'll give that one an 8.
That was a good one. Nice little palette.
I'll give that an 8.
We don't have our boards out, so I'll just give that one a 7. I'll give that one a 7.
I'm going to give that a 5. That's a standard issue Jokic shot.
That was actually a nice little
That was the easiest shot the Nuggets got tonight.
The most.
Harold and Williams really haven't gotten it going here in the
Is
restart.
Murray cooking?
Oh,
that was nice. Little scoop.
He had a
Murray's
couple
good
nice
stats.
ones.
Yeah.
Yo, this was the difference between this game and the previous
Getting to the
games.
cup and finishing?
Getting to the cup, having that little bit of explosion.
To the cup.
Finishing at the cup. Yep, absolutely.
Is that all?
George tees one up from
Brick.
three.
Oh, Paul George
Jokic
missing
the
some
rebound.
shots down. Oh, my God.
Does a
Yo,
game really
The
start
release
until a full court
and
water
the
polo
two-handed
contest?
No,
flush.
just
Does the
not.
game
See
start
that at
until that?
Paul Millsap had like a 10-foot lead on that and still almost got blocked.
Yeah.
By Landry Shamet, by the
By
way.
Landry Shamet. Barely got above the rim. Snuck it in like a gentleman. What do we have here?
Okay, this play.
Oh, hell yeah. I forgot
Let's
about
go.
this one.
Yeah.
Dude, the Eminem connection. I'm
I
going to
know.
start
There
that
really
shit
is
right
a
now.
Mason, and it's true. Ryan Blackburn tweeted it out. He's like, Porter passes to Plumlee because he knows Plumlee will pass to Porter. There's
It's a great tweet. It was a great tweet, actually.
little real.
My dad texts me. He goes, "Do Plumlee and Porter have some chemistry?"
Yeah, they kind of
The only
do.
guy he played
We
with
actually
all
talked
year,
about
so.
that before, and I just realized they're both MPs. MP.
That's definitely it.
That's
That's
exactly
actually
it.
that's it.
That's what
Yeah.
it is.
All right.
Crack the code.
Any EWs out there that want to hook up, let me know.
Jokic for the lead.
That was pure.
Pure, those threes, man. Jokic, have you guys noticed Jokic has a little bit of a flex
Denver.
thing that he's doing now after big
16.
plays?
Who did we give
You
the
notice like a
DraftKings
little-
King of the Game to tonight?
Jamal.
Oh, yeah, we
Jamal?
haven't actually said the DraftKings
Oh.
King of the Game, Jamal Murray. Absolutely.
Jamal
26,
Murray.
8, 7. I mean, Jokic could have easily had it, too. My vote was for both. I wanted 2 Kings.
I would have been fine
My
with
vote
that.
was for Vogt.
Thanks, man. My
problem.
vote was for Millsap.
Oh.
I would have also been fine with
You got one
Millsap, to
more?
be honest.
Okay,
Jokic
let's see why he was
in the
king of the
middle,
game. Because of
Harris.
this single.
Murray
Oh, yeah,
fakes
that's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That
That is
that was
nice.
big. That was big.
That's when I really started to
That
feel
was the-
differently
oh,
about it.
dude.
Was right there.
That was the Nuggets waking up from
Clippers,
the
Evans,
grave moment right there. That was
beginning
awesome.
They
the
win
eighth
that
for
game.
Denver.
That was great. What are we looking at?
Defense
Oh, and the
on one
oh, and the
end.
block.
The
Yes.
defense, man.
48
Yoke
to
and
go.
MPJ
Trying
down the
to
stretch.
avoid
Yeah, and then the
elimination.
jumper.
Murray is heated up for
Beautiful,
Denver.
beautiful. All right, we have to end today's show, guys. The only way we can.
Round of insults?
A round of insults, yes.
Yep or no?
We learned today that it's Balkan custom when you get together with a bunch of buddies that you sing a very famous song.
Okay, sure.
In Serbia,
WAP?
it's known as Nemace nam Nikonista. How did I do there, Serbia? How did I do?
Are you looking at us like we
Give
are
it
Serbia?
a 4 out of 10.
I'm gonna see if I can find the lyrics to this.
We don't
song
even
and
have a
sing
number
along
for it.
with them.
When you can't hear the music,
It doesn't
this is
matter.
gonna be
It's gonna be
incredible.
really bad.
Are